Well, yeah, thanks everyone for the opportunity to talk to you guys today and tell you a little bit more about what we're doing at Fountain. So I'm going to just give a very brief overview into what we're doing, and yeah, happy to connect after the call to go into any more details. But we're Fountain, and we are changing incentives on the internet with programmable money. So I wanted to start with just a bit of context into the current state of media of the internet. And it's our belief at Fountain that a lot of the underlying incentives with the way media is produced and distributed on the internet is fundamentally broken. And that's quite a big dramatic statement, but I think that most people will actually recognize the kind of examples of this just in their day-to-day lives. So there's kind of three areas that we see as being broken. The first is discovery of content on the internet. And there's an issue here because discovery is driven by attention algorithms. It's driven by clicks and it's driven by outrage. And one of the biggest examples we like to use here is the fact that YouTube videos keep getting longer and YouTube creators are incentivized to create more content than they actually want to, because that's what the algorithm rewards. And so you have this kind of state of play on YouTube where content creators are just churning out content that's not necessarily valuable for people, just because that's what the algorithm and the advertising incentive encourages them to do. The second is monetization. So creators on the internet, especially in certain verticals, are underpaid. And as I mentioned, advertising incentivizes quantity over quality. One vertical where we see this especially is in the music industry, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about that in a second. And then the third is reward. So we've all heard the phrase that you are the product in tech, and most of these media platforms, the value that they provide is actually created by the users, but the users don't get rewarded for the value that they provide to the platform. So these are the kind of fundamental incentives on the internet that we're looking to change at Fountain using programmable money. So as I mentioned, Fountain is fixing this with programmable money, specifically using the Bitcoin Lightning Network. So first off, and I should just say that right now, Fountain fundamentally is a podcast app. So you can download Fountain from the App Store on iOS and Android. You can search for podcasts, you can listen to podcasts, but then you can do a whole bunch of other really cool things that kind of are targeting incentive change to try and fix the problems that I just talked about. So on Fountain, discovery is driven by value instead of being driven by attention. And so what we do for all of our discovery kind of features is we surface content to other users based on the value that users kind of ascribe to it. So whenever you send money to a piece of content, that's what drives the recommendations as opposed to an attention signal. The second is monetization. So on Fountain, creators get paid directly by their fans with no middleman. So you can support podcasts and musicians directly from the player in Fountain. You can stream money per minute to the creator, or you can send a one-off payment with a message, which is called a boost. And then these payments drive the discovery signal and is how we recommend this content to other users. So the creators get the dual benefit, they get paid, and also they get their content discovered. And then finally, on rewards, on Fountain, you get paid for the value you bring to the platform. So We have daily rewards on Fountain where you can earn sats, but also the more you put in, the more you get out. So if you create great clips on Fountain, every time somebody likes one of your clips on Fountain, you earn sats for that. We're starting with podcasts, so this is what the app looks like today. So it's a fully featured podcast app with a beautiful design. And you can, as I said before, you can search for podcasts, you can listen to podcasts, you can build up your library, you can earn rewards, you can support creators, you can discover interesting content either through our activity feed, which shows comments from all of your followers, or through our clip feeds, which allow you to quickly browse through clips that other Fountain users have created. And then from the creator perspective, you can also manage your earnings and see who your top fans are. We're powered by the Bitcoin Lightning Network. Probably everybody on this call, knows the benefits of Lightning, but specifically for us in the podcasting vertical, it's really exciting because podcasting is a naturally fragmented industry. There's many apps, there's many hosting companies, so it's a perfect fit for the podcasting industry, and that's why we're seeing the podcasting industry adopt the Bitcoin Lightning Network, because it's actually solving a real problem for them. We've got amazing traction with listeners, podcasters, and advertisers. So we currently have 25,000 monthly active listeners. We are seeing a volume of 20 million sats spent from listeners to creators. We've onboarded over 800 podcasters using our podcaster wallet feature, enabling them to earn direct money from their fans. And we've also done over 25K in ad sales through our Fountain promotions feature, which allows us to flip the money streaming direction and allow listeners to get paid for sampling content. We have a bunch of highly influential podcasts that are already using our Fountain podcaster wallet. And not only are they using the wallet, but they're seeing a lot of success in terms of the money that they're bringing in, but also the community that they're building within Fountain, within the app. And the earning mechanisms that we have on Fountain are actually an amazing way to drive growth, because users can earn as they listen to podcasts on Fountain. It's a no-brainer, earning a few sats each day just for something that you already do. This attracts more users to Fountain. Users can then reward creators for the great content that they're putting out. These payments drive additional engagement, and the money signal that we get from all of these payments enables us to actually surface great content on Fountain and drive discovery for the content creators, which is what they ultimately care about. We also have our Fountain promotions feature, which kind of solves a whole problem in the podcast advertising industry, which is there's no real attribution or metrics, whereas on Fountain, you can actually guarantee that people are listening, and you can see the cost per impression and the cost per listen for promotions on Fountain is actually really, really good. So we're seeing great traction with podcasters promoting their shows on Fountain. And yeah, podcasts are just the beginning in how we think about Fountain and our growth. So, through 2023, we're actually launching our Fountain 1.0 redesign tomorrow. So check that out on iOS and Android tomorrow if you're interested in checking out some of the new designs. But looking forward to 2024, what we really want to do is expand to new mediums. So adding audiobooks, adding music, and adding video. Music, specifically, I'll just touch on that. Something that's incredibly exciting that we've been working on over the past 3 months is the ability for podcasters to play music tracks in their podcasts. And then at the moment that the track is playing, we can dynamically switch the Lightning address that is receiving the funds from listeners and send it to the musician. So as a musician, you can now get featured on a podcast and get paid for being on that podcast. And actually tonight, I'll share the link in the group chat afterwards, but tonight there is the first ever Value for Value Lightning concert in Minneapolis. There's two amazing musicians, Ainsley Costello and Just Loud, who are doing a gig at First Avenue in Minneapolis. It's a really famous music venue. And that concert is going to be live streamed through Fountain, and people are going to be supporting live.
Sorry.
So in terms of the team, myself, Oscar Mary. Okay, cool. Sorry about that. A little bit over, but thank you very much, guys.
Yeah.